Hello and welcome to the Daily Brown Bag. Today we're going to be hitting another privacy topic. We're going to be talking about how Facebook is loosening some of their privacy restrictions for teen users. I'm Chad Hill and I'm joined by Adam Stetzer.
And good morning, Chad. We seem to be on a roll with privacy. You're right. We were talking about Google shared endorsements and the new terms of service yesterday. Today the news is from Facebook, and they're actually changing their privacy setting for teens. So this is a very interesting topic targeted at their user base, particularly the minors, ages 13 to 17. And the big change is they can now make their posts visible to the general public. This is a change. Previously they were restricted to friends and family, and now Facebook is choosing to treat these minors more like adult users, and they can have much more control over what happens to the content that they put onto Facebook. Teens will also be able to turn on the follow option, which allows anyone who isn't a friend to see their public stuff in their news feeds. And I think this is getting a lot of attention from parents. Chad, you and I can both relate, being parents ourselves. But let's dive into the numbers first, and let's digest what's actually happening. The Pew Center for Research does great work on this, and they conducted a study looking at teen social media usage. And here are some of the high-level stats. 1.2 billion users on Facebook total. Almost 95% of teens that are on social media have a Facebook account. So this is a very popular destination for teens. And teens on average have 300 Facebook friends. So that might make some of us in the older generation feel slightly inadequate. Let's talk about their usage too. They share tons of information. They're hyperactive. We've probably all observed that anecdotally. Over 90% post photos of themselves. Over 50% share their email address. 20% share their cell phone number, and over 70% share personal facts such as the school that they go to, the name of the school, or where they live. So that from a privacy angle is also concerning. These are a couple other high-level stats, and let's open the discussion. Over 50% have deleted something somebody else posted, and 45% have untagged themselves in a photo. So they're hyperactive on sharing, but those stats also tell you there are things going up that even the teens don't approve of and actively try to take back out of Facebook. So what does this privacy change from Facebook really mean, Chad, and what is the discussion today?
Yeah, well, you sort of talked a little bit about this, but let's talk about the change here, because the default setting for anyone who is a teen, and really the only setting, was that you could basically all of your posts were friends of friends. So it was your friends and obviously their friends. So the big change here is the default's actually changing to just friends, but then you have the ability to make all of your posts public. Now, when you do make your post public, Facebook has added a special pop-up that's gonna come up to say your setting is public. Do you really want to do this? Yes, no. So there is some catch there, but Adam, I think as we know, most teens don't really have any sort of control on what they think should be private and public, so they're not going to have any problem opting through that pop-up. So again, really, this is sort of scary as a parent, sort of scary for teens, because this is going on your permanent record, if you will, and basically they're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and I think as you think about this generation, and they're being called Generation M2, which I guess is a new term, and this is really the first generation to kind of be growing up in this era of constant social media outlet, multiple devices, constant sharing, constant update, constant contact. So I think we're on the bleeding edge here. So it's very hard to make predictions about where this is going to shake out, other than to say I think it's very unlikely it'll stay where it is today, right? Most technologies just don't do that, and the early couple iterations are usually pretty bumpy and sometimes ugly. So I feel like we're right in that range where this may be very dangerous given the age of these folks. But I guess the big question is, why is Facebook doing this? Is this, let's just be blunt about the advertising opportunity. Do they see this as an untapped market and they just want to get their ads out in front of these, consumers at their formative age?
Well, you read the stats. I mean, the usage here is staggering, and of course, if they do, the more of these impressions, this is great content. Of course, it's being created, probably very visually interesting content, and it is a great thing to put ads around. This is a hot audience. There's more, this audience actually probably has discretionary income, even though it may not come directly from their work. They're certainly getting allowances. So yes, this is a very hot audience. But I think the other big thing here is that Facebook is looking at how do we compete with Twitter and some of the other platforms people are using. So they're looking at this as we need to be at parity. If Twitter doesn't have the same restrictions as we do, we need to figure out how do we not become the platform that you stay away from because it's too restrictive and everyone goes to Twitter. So I think a lot of this is just competitive response to other platforms.
Right. We reported earlier this week some of the digital ad revenue breakdown, and Facebook, I believe, came in around 5% versus Google at a whopping 33% of the digital ad revenue. So, right, this might be their push to, get their slice of the pie, but I think the other side of the debate will be are they exploiting a vulnerable set of consumers? So I think this is going to be a hot one to watch. The big question also on the teen side is, can they handle this new responsibility of having these extremely public online lives that in some cases ends up in your permanent record? We'd certainly be interested in your thoughts on this. We know there's going to be a lot of debate. This privacy issue is going to be around for quite a while. Share your thoughts. Do you have kids? Do you allow them on Facebook? What do you see as the future for Facebook usage for minors? And if you enjoyed the video, we hope you'll sign up to get more in the future.